got it to Drake London numerous times. But his accuracy with the ball, it's kind of fun to watch the left-handed quarterback throw the football for some reason. Right? We see so many right-handed quarterbacks, but it catches you off guard when he's a lefty. He said, look at the lefty throw. The ball comes out a little bit different, but they have a future in Atlanta now. And give kudos to Kirk Cousins.
Sure.
Because I know that Kirk Cousins was in his ear. He came off the field, probably speaking to him, helping him out, because that's the kind of guy Kirk Cousins is.
The lefty doesn't want to be left out of the playoffs. And the Falcons, again, Randy mentioned, they need some help. They have to beat Carolina next week. They could probably do, but they need Tampa to also lose to New Orleans next week in order for them to get to the postseason.
We got a couple of teams yesterday afternoon, who are going to the playoffs. Just a matter of the seeding here in the Midwest, Coach. That NFC North is one tough division. Packers come calling on Sam Darnold. So we go over those rookie quarterbacks to Darnold's first season as a starter in Minnesota, and Coach spinning it. It's not just Justin Jefferson. This is Jalen Naylor. These Vikings can beat you in different ways.
Well, they have a host of talented, skilled players, and we talk about Sam Darnold. You can't say enough about him. And Kevin O'Connell, who actually is the head coach, offensive coordinator, former quarterback, does a nice job of play calling, spreading the ball around to numerous players. And this is what makes him so effective.
All right, so that's Cam Akers there. O'Connell saying about Darnold, he's playing quarterback at a very, very high level. For Darnold's sixth game this year with 3 passing touchdowns, had 4 of those games in his first 5 seasons combined. But you know, that quarterback on the other sideline, he came alive. Had a quiet quarters 1 through 3, but in the fourth, Jordan Love finding Tucker Kraft 35 yards.
Yeah, and this is the problem with the Packers in some division games. Same way against the Lions. They kind of started out slow, and they dig themselves a little bit of a hole and then try to come back. And obviously, this game was one where, you think about the Green Bay Packers now, they've lost twice to the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, 27-10 was the deficit, but the Emmanuel Wilson touchdown, 2-point conversion, it's 27-18, is the only touchdown pass of the game that came in the fourth quarter. And there you go, Malik Heath. And okay, now it's getting a little bit more interesting. It's only a 2-point game, but Darnold, steady hand. I know he hasn't succeeded everywhere he's been, but maybe just that veteran presence, because he was calm, the Vikings were calm, and as you said, the Vikings were winners.
Well, when you think about him and his career, he's been beat up. Yeah. So he's been he's Tonka tough.
Had some clean pockets last night, though.
He's one of those guys now. They love him in Minnesota.
Sure.
He's kind of the guy now, and he feels that, and this team is playing lights out.
And it led to a career best 377 yards through the air, also had 3 touchdowns for Darnold. He connected with 8 different pass catchers. How are the Vikings and Kevin O'Connell able to utilize everybody they have?
Well, this is what makes them so hard to defend, because you have Addison, you have Jefferson, you have Jones, right? Jones, 1,000-yard rusher. Jefferson, 1,000-yard receiver. Addison has over 800 yards in receptions, And so you never know where the ball's going, right? And Kevin O'Connell does a nice job, their head coach, who calls the plays as well, designing plays to get all these guys involved.
Yeah.
And the quarterback, he just spreads the ball around. And he's very accurate, and he's not turning the ball over.
That's a heck of a scheme, too. As for the Packers, they're 1-4 against the NFC North. They are 10-1 against everybody else. Let's get to a losing team taking on a winning team in the AFC East. That would be the Jets taking on the Bills. We're at Orchard Park.
Airplanes.
And there was a time where Aaron Rodgers was an MVP winner. Instead, now the award seemingly, Coach, belonging to Josh Allen. Let's start with Rodgers. This thing is picked.
Bedford doing the honors. Decision there, right?
Rodgers
throw
only
over the middle.
112 yards, had 2 interceptions.
And remember this, late throws over the middle always end up being not a good decision.
Well, he knows that, too. He's been around. And then it's Josh Allen in the third quarter. This to Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper, only 1 grab, 10 yards across his previous 2 games.
And what a grab.
And then he comes alive. Took a little pop from terra firma on that.
Oh, look at Josh Allen.
Josh Allen, Bills take a 19-0 lead. Might as well have been 90, but hey, a little positive note for the Jets. Garrett Wilson went over 1,000 receiving yards, but on this reception, Coach puts it on the ground.
Yeah, he's going the wrong way with the ball.
Yeah.
Don't want to go that way.
That's not going to work. And then Josh Allen, who did have a rushing score, also had 2 passing touchdowns. This one to Keon Coleman.
How about this? Look at this.
40.
Look at this.
I heard it's going good. It's going good.
I heard it's not supposed to go cross body. Let's hear from Aaron Rodgers, though. Jets lose, but what about his future?
What does the future holds for Aaron Rodgers?
I'm going to enjoy next week and then take some mental and physical rest.
I'm going to enjoy that coat. That
All
coat
right.
seems pretty nice.
That does look like
Yeah,
a
that's a nice
comfortable
jacket.
coat. Did Rodgers just play his last down as a Jet?
Well, this is Aaron Rodgers. Who knows?
Okay.
He's going to go and relax and find himself and think about his future. Does he want to end his career this way? Knowing Aaron Rodgers, probably not.
Okay.
Right? If you're the New York Jets, the decision you're going to have to make is who's going to be our coach.
Let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
If you're the New York Jets, do you want Aaron Rodgers to come back as presently constructed? Young receiver in Garrett Wilson. You traded for Devontae Adams in a, hey, let's try to turn this thing around. You know you have a pretty solid defense. Do you want Aaron Rodgers back?
Well, the question before, do you want Aaron Rodgers back? If that is the question, then the next question is, who's the coach?
Okay.
And who are you going to get at quarterback?
Let's say the coach is Herm Edwards. Does Herm Edwards want Aaron Rodgers back?
Going to call Chad Pennington?
No, I'm not
Hey,
going to
we
call
love Chad, but I think Chad's pretty comfortable.
Chad can be a play caller.
That was your guy. Hey, that was your
play
Chad
caller.
could be a play caller.
Look, I think Aaron Rodgers has shown in certain instances that he is still talented. He can still throw the football. They have a team that has some talent, especially on offense and defense. You know, this team has been in a lot of games. They just don't finish. They just don't finish. They don't know what it means to win anymore. They've lost so many games now. They just find ways to lose rather than win, right? So, going forward, we'll have to see. We'll talk about this later.
Aaron Rodgers literally did not finish the game, 12 of 18, still sitting on 499 career touchdowns. All right, let's start hooping to some winners now in the women's college game. We got your 5 best teams as ranked 1 through 5 in the women's game. And let's start with Nebraska taking on top team in all the land in UCLA, Kiki Rice. Hits the J. Samia Gardner. She's going to miss the 3 here. But Lauren Betts, offensive rebound, just cleaning up the mess. Maybe took a little shot in the eye. It's all good, though. Top-ranked UCLA gets the 91-54 win over Nebraska. South Carolina, number 2 team in the country, taking on Wofford. Tessa Johnson to Joyce Edwards. You hear the whistle. Gets the hoop, gets the harm. Fourth quarter, South Carolina up. It was close. Up a snug 37. Johnson to Edwards again, team high 16 off the bench. You know Coach Staley has them running deep. 93-47 your final. Notre Dame, number 3 in the country, taking on Virginia. They're up 53-27 midway through the third quarter. Olivia Miles to Hannah Hidalgo, the sensational sophomore, but Miles was dealing. Call her Dawn the way she was built for these dishes. 6th career triple-double ties Alyssa Thomas for most in the ACC's history. Notre Dame, 95-54. Juju Watkins on the beat. Number 4 USC taking on number 23 Michigan. At USC royalty and Cheryl Miller sitting sideline watching Juju do her thing. Hits the jumper after declining the 3, and then a little turnaround. Game high 31 for the sophomore USC. 78-58 winners. Then Providence taking on number 7 UConn. Second quarter, UConn up 31-13. Hartford has it. AZ Fudd finding Paige Beckers. You're going to get all that. Beckers with a game high 23. How did she celebrate after the game? She took the fam to Bears Barbecue. How do I know that?
How do you know that?
Because I took my fam to Bears Barbecue, and we were like, oh, there's Paige Beckers and AZ Fudd. UConn, 67-41 winners. All right, Bowl Mania continuing today on ESPN. Iowa taking on Missouri in the Trans-Perfect Music City Bowl. That's today, 2:30 Eastern on ESPN and ESPN Deportes.
Still ahead on SportsCenter, how the NFC's top seed will be decided between the Lions and the Vikings next week, while the Giants are accidentally number 1 and done with the top pick in the 2025 draft. How you can lose even when you win, because Giants.
I thought Randy was breaking news calling Herm Edwards the new coach of the Jets.
No, I was just
about 3-4 minutes ago.
The G,
Allen drops the throw. Wants to take a shot at the end zone, and it is caught. What a catch! Amari Cooper with tight coverage on him goes up to bring it down and secured it the whole way.
Still ahead on SportsCenter, it was a day filled with great catches where that Amari Cooper touchdown ranks in our top 10 in just 10 minutes.
I hear you, Steve Levy, on the call.
Things off. Dolphins, Browns, the Dolphins entering this week with still an outside shot of getting into the playoffs. Tyler Huntley starts at quarterback for the injured Tua Tagovailoa. Huntley, out of pocket, does it himself. Calls for the block. Gets into the end zone. Dolphins go up 13-3. Same score late in the fourth as Huntley. Jonnu Smith That's 6. So the Dolphins win 20-3. They need a win over the Jets next week and a Broncos loss against the Chiefs to get into the playoffs.
Huntley is Mr. Week 17, man. All right, Panthers and Bucks, Baker Mayfield. Where? Tampa. You got it. Found Mike Evans. Where? The end zone. Twice. 9 grabs, 97 yards, 2 scores for Mr. 1,000-yard receiving seasons. It's a long title. And then Jalen McMillan has been a revelation second half of the season. He had another touchdown, 48-14. Baker and the Bucks roll.
I'm being told there was also a duck issue. No issue for Saquon Barkley on the ground this season. Got 268 away from Eric Dickerson's all-time record in a single season. That's a 23-yard run. Same drive, Tanner McKee in for the injured Kenny Pickett. First touchdown goes to A.J. Brown, and then A.J. Brown just yeets it into the stands. Don't worry, this story ended happily. Got the football back in exchange for some merch, and that right there, that run right there, makes Saquon Barkley just the 9th player in the NFL's history to get to 2,000 yards rushing, and he's still got a chance next week to break the record.
Colts and Giants, MetLife Stadium, pick things up fourth quarter. Giants up 2. Drew Lock to Malik Neighbors, splits the coverage and then runs away from the linebacker. I mean, look at Malik Neighbors. He's got it like that speed-wise. 7 grabs, 171 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Joe Flacco starting for the injured Anthony Richardson, finding Alec Pierce. Colts down just 2, but here goes Drew Lock just scrambling. Drew, 4 passing, 1 rushing. Yes, Drew Lock, 45-33. The Giants drop out of the driver's seat for the number 1 overall draft pick. ESPN Analytics now giving them just a 1% chance of getting the top pick in the NFL draft. And even worse for the Giants, both the Titans and the Browns, who are now ahead of them in the first-round projections, both likely looking to select a quarterback. New England would secure the top pick with a loss to the Bills next week.
And that's why it's 1%, because, listen, the Giants ain't going to beat the Eagles, and the Patriots certainly ain't going to beat the Bills. We can assume right now. That being said, Coach, how much damage did the Giants do for their future quarterback prospects by winning this game?
Well, players and coaches aren't worried about any damage. They just want to win a football game. The organization will have to deal with where they're at in the draft. There's a lot of things they can do.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Do they go into free agency and get a veteran quarterback?
Okay.
There happens to be one in Minnesota that might be available.
Oh, yeah.
J.J. McCarthy already.
I'm just saying. I mean, look, I get it, and fan base is probably mad. Oh, because I heard this in the room when we were watching the game. Just, what are we doing? They're trying to win a football game.
Coach, I got a question. When you say players and coaches are separating themselves from the front office, as a former coach,
yes,
aren't you sort of on the front office side of things because you want to have a little bit of say in who your quarterback is?
You are, but you're also on the
Brian
side
Daboll's
of
like, what are we doing?
Your coaches are trying to win the game.
All right. That's a tough
somebody's in my ears telling me I should say you play to win the game, but I've only said it once, and I'm going to say it twice in my lifetime. I generally don't say that.
Yeah.
It's been said once, came out of my lips.
Sure.
And that's the deal.
That's a tough spot.
You're trying to win every week. You don't care how many games you haven't won, or you're not worried about draft choices. You don't worry about that stuff. Just go win a football game.
Once you're between the lines, or I guess on the sidelines.
You just want to win a football game. It's real simple.
Okay, so next week the Giants are going to try to win a football game against the Eagles and against their former running back, Saquon Barkley. Should Philadelphia play Saquon as he pursues Eric Dickerson's rushing record, considering the seeding is all but locked up in the NFC? I know there's still some sorting out, but you know you're going to the postseason, and you know you're not the 1 seed if you're Philadelphia.
Here we go. Here's my answer to this one. Watch what I'm getting ready to say. Players play football.
Okay.
Fans watch football. Coaches coach, players play. Time to play. You go play football.
Okay.
Just go play football. You're a football player. That's what you do. You signed on to play football.
I guess not for nothing. He only needs 100 yards, so he's probably going to only play first quarter.
You know what? Well, this is what I would do if I was a coach. I'd say, I'd go to the offensive line room. Because the offensive line wants to break this record as well. Okay?
Yeah.
And I'd go to him and say, look, I'm going to give him the ball 20, 25 times.
Sure.
Let's get it done early.
I mean, he toted it 31.
Let's get it done early.
Okay, so as soon as it's done,
out.
Pull him.
Stand by me.
Sit him.
Yeah.
Then it's time for
and there's
players.
going to be probably some other guys.
So these players, where the players play, and then players sit.
Yeah.
Once players break.
You could stand, too.
Once players break the
players
record.
play.
All right, listen, we do have football tonight on ESPN. It's Monday Night Football. It's Jared Goff and the Lions trying to keep their push going for the 1 seed in the NFC when they visit the 49ers. Coverage starts Monday Night Countdown at 6 Eastern, followed by the Lions and Niners themselves. ESPN, ABC, and ESPN Plus. It's a rematch of the NFC Championship game a year ago that the Lions should have won. I'll say it.
That being said, Coach, who's the NFC's 1 seed? It's decided next week. Vikings or Lions? Who you got and why?
I'm going with the Lions until the Vikings can beat them. The Vikings have already lost to the Lions.
Sure.
They get to another opportunity going to Detroit to play, and the Vikings are one of the hottest teams in NFC, along with the Commanders.
Okay.
Oh.
Commanders are playing well.
Happen to be in the same division.
Just saying. Interesting.
Another team that's been putting up points lately have been the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh!
And they're going to be featured in top plays, if not top teams.
Come on.
You know that.
Let's get it.
We got 10 of them.
Let's do this.
Gary, I would like to start. Is that okay with you?
Yes, sir. Please
Okay.
do.
Number 10, just for today, though, Sam Darnold to Justin Jefferson. Coach, he wasn't in the highlight himself because he didn't score a touchdown. And this play didn't even count. It was called back because of holding.
But it counts because we're showing it on the highlight film.
One-handed grab.
Right, one-handed catch.
My goodness.
Raiders and Saints.
Raiders!
Who'd have thought it?
Raiders.
Hey, and Coach, it's actually a highlight for them.
And look at that.
Trey Tucker, corner of the end zone.
Trey Tucker. How about, you know what? They have really 2 good tight ends.
And one of them,
Myers and that Bowers fella. They're really
Bowers pretty good.
tight end leading.
Too bad the tight ends can't throw the football full time.
Come on, guy. All right,
How about this guy?
Jets and Bills. This guy's all right. And then Keon Coleman. I don't even think this pass was intended for him, but
This
he
is
just went up
just
and
a
got
jump
it.
ball. This is a jump ball.
It might have been for
It's kind of interesting.
Theo Johnson.
Just go up and catch it at the highest peak. He jumped up over everybody.
Got it.
Yes.
Oh, we got Titans Jags.
Uh-oh.
Don't turn away. These
Jaguars.
are highlights.
Jaguars.
Mac Jones, Parker Washington. Coach, the balance.
That's
Tiptoeing
Mac
the line.
Jones throwing this ball.
Who? Mac Jones.
Yeah.
The Jags won. It's 20-13.
Jaguars.
You're welcome,
How
Emerson.
The people insist. More Raiders, more Saints.
Oh,
Trick
Raiders.
play. Kendra Miller
No.
throwing it back to Spencer Rattler.
Some trickery.
Got a snake sighting, Coach, and
Oh,
that's the
watch it.
island of Foster Moreau on the touchdown.
That's that. Look at this. Throw it. They
Throw it back.
They threw it twice.
Rip it.
And we get a catch.
Rip it.
Wide open.
That'll play.
Coach, special teams, we had some lane integrity issues because Amir Smith-Marset saw a lane,
And took it.
took a lane, did not have to deviate from his course. I
Look
mean,
at
he
this.
went from A to B. Look at this.
They missed him if they played flag football. That's unbelievable. He ran right
Darn
down
near
the
missed
middle.
It was touch.
And scored.
And the Giants won a football game. They weren't.
The G-Men won.
G-men.
They were. I thought y'all wanted Shador.
Cowboys, Eagles, Kenny Pickett
Kenny
to
Pickett.
Grant Calcaterra.
Wow.
Listen,
Hey.
Calcaterra gets up one. He just gets one paw on it, Coach.
That's a heck of a catch, but I don't understand if Pickett understands the jersey number he's wearing, number 7, belonged to Ron Jaworski, a great quarterback. for the
John
Philadelphia
Ellie
Eagles.
Greens, Coach.
My teammate.
More Colts.
Oh,
Giants,
this is
Drew
nice.
Lock.
Look, you know what? This neighbors guy, quietly, he's really good.
And not for
Quietly?
nothing, LSU's
He's really
LSU
good.
products are balling in the NFL. Him, Jayden, Burrow,
Yeah.
Jamar, the list goes on.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of talented players there.
Josh Allen, Wyoming product.
I don't
No
know what
big
to say
deal.
about
Don't poke.
it's just fun watching Josh Allen. Mari Cooper, boy, look at this catch here.
Protected his head. I think he
Oh,
got the wind
what's
knocked
number
out of him.
1?
Top play, top moment, top everything for the DMV. Here's your rookie of the
Touchdown,
year
Washington Commanders.
to the grizzled
And
vet.
Here we go.
I mean, he scooped it off the deck, Coach.
It's a great catch. Nice throw as well.
And you're saying, man, that might be a pivotal connection.
Watch it going forward now. I know we're getting the playoffs. Just watch it.
Hey, so this happened. We mentioned the Bucs.
We have
game,
a duck.
and we've got a duck.
A Millard.
We got a ducky.
Well, no, a mallard. I think has a green, greenish plume.
I thought
Why didn't he just bring some bread out there? Like get the hot dog bun or something and
Coach,
bring the hot dog out.
You were saying Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and
Yes.
that was a good line.
Watch it now.
But look at this guy. I don't want to say he looks like a duck handler. He just looks like someone who is
Don't
held
just bring some bread out there and the duck will eat it right out of your hand.
comfortable with animals.
My word.
I don't know.
Coach, you speak of that as
It's a
if-
ball yard.
as if you have
Well,
first-hand experience.
Well, there's
Yeah.
a little park
Feeding
down
the
there
duck.
where we live, and there's
Yeah.
some ducks down. I don't feed them, but I see people feeding the ducks
It
with
sounds
bread.
like you let him eat right out of your
You
hand.
said-
No, I don't mess around with ducks.
You said your favorite golfer was Webb Simpson. Is that what you said?
No, stop it.
No, is that what you?
Stop it.
No.
Well, your favorite basketball player was Spud Webb.
Get up.
Did you say that your favorite former Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback was Duck Hodges? Is that what you said?
We got a lot of ducks here. Huh?
Trying to think of others.